Hey everybody, this is Max here. I'm just doing another video. Just was doing a little toy hunting in the last week or so, and these are some things that I picked up. Just thought I would share. These three right here, these Marvel Legends I got at Ollie's. When I heard that Ollie's has gotten a new shipment in, I thought I'd go and check out one of the Ollies near me. There's probably four in my area, at least within like 40-minute drive. So I like to check them out every now and then. They have not had much for a while. And the one that I checked, I got to talking with another guy who was toy hunting as well. And he mentioned that he found a Joe Fixit figure and the 3-pack of the X-Men, the Ford, Storm, and Jubilee. And I wish he hadn't, because I had been in the area like a week before, and that was when this gentleman said that he had found it. And I happened to be in the area and decided not to go in there because they hadn't had anything, and I missed my opportunity to get a few figures that I probably would have liked to have gotten. But I managed to get these three. I was actually surprised to see the Rogue. I thought she was a fairly popular one. I've had my eye on the Killmonger for a while, just because I like the look. I like the scale. I like the 6-inch scale. I'm not familiar with the What If cartoon, but I thought I haven't watched it, but I've seen some of the character designs and some of the trailers and that sort of thing. Anyway, I thought I don't know the story, but I thought this guy looked cool. I thought the sculpt is good. I thought it was suitable for some kit bashing, maybe a little customization, add it to the G.I. Joe Action Force line. And so that's why I picked him up. Interestingly enough, this one was not taped. There was no tape on the enclosures, so I opened it up to make sure it was in there, because I know some people have probably dealt with that before, ordering stuff with a closed box through Amazon. We probably all heard the stories of people probably ordering them, taking the figure that they want, sticking rocks and ketchup packets and other figures and sending them back to Amazon and getting a refund, and then those figures get sold as used, I guess, to other people, and they're getting the wrong figure, or something to that effect. So I opened it up and make sure he was in there. I actually liked this figure. I didn't want to spend $25 on an MCU figure of Ant-Man, even though I like the look of it. I'm not surprised this guy wound up in Ollie's. I was just kind of waiting. And so we're going to do an unboxing of these two guys. And I'm probably not going to take her out. I'm probably going to keep her in the box for a little while and just kind of see. I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, I like this look, but it's a pretty basic figure, and I'm not a huge Rogue fan. I mean, I read the X-Men for years and years and years, and definitely she had this look when I started reading the X-Men. But I might open it just to make sure she's in there. But that may be it. So I'm going to do a little review of these guys just for the heck of it. And today I was kind of surprised. I was in GameStop and was surprised to see this Bosk figure. So I managed to find the old version deluxe Boba Fett in the older packaging for like $17 at a Second and Charles about a year ago, and was blown away by that. It's a nice figure. I really like it. I'm not huge in the Black Series. I mean, I've got a few just because one of the figures that I like the most, the characters I like the most. But seeing this Bosk, I thought about building the Empire Strikes Back Bounty Hunter line, but all I could ever find was Dengar. So I'm like, well, poor Dengar. He's kind of the odd man out. But now I kind of have a little hope. I never thought I would find this guy, and I thought about leaving him on the cart, but looking him up on eBay, he's going for about $25, $26. So it's not the one that went in the original box. So the original Black Series box, this is more the archive, or this is the archive. So couldn't find it on Amazon, but you can find it on eBay for about what I paid for it at GameStop. So I picked him up just because next to Boba Fett, he's my favorite bounty hunter. I wouldn't mind getting all the others, and Dengar being last, but like Zuckuss, Forlom, IG-88, I think those would be cool if I ever found them. But so I may open this guy. I may do another video just for him alone, and but I just wanted to show him off because I was surprised to find him. So, so anyway, let me know if you guys have been on a toy hunt recently. Have you hit Ollie's up? Have you hit GameStop up? What have you found? What did you like? Let me know in the comments. That'd be cool. So give me just a second, and I'm going to get these two, I'm going to clear this out and get these two out of the box, and we'll do a little review and see what we see. All right. Okay, guys, so now that we're back, got this guy out of the box and had a chance to kind of play around with him a bit. And something I noticed about, I don't have a lot of these MCU figures. I mean, I think a lot of the looks are pretty good. I think they get the look, it translates well. I like the design. I mean, if you want the traditional comic look, you can go with the Marvel Legends, you know, the standard line, but the MCU stuff, you know, it's pretty cool. But typically they don't have the same articulation. Like, I love a boot cut. So for me, since I got into figure collecting, it's been about articulation. So the more articulation, the best, the better off, the more I like it. So this guy is probably going to need some modifications because I got him cheap. I just thought, what the heck? And yeah, if I decide to do some customization on it, no harm, no foul. It's not a lot. It's not like I spent a lot of money, but yeah, I like bootcut. MCU figures typically don't, as far as I know. Tell me if I'm wrong, but the few that I have never had them. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee. I like the fact that it's pinless. I didn't really have an opinion on pin versus pinless until I started noticing some of the MCU figures or the Marvel Legends figures that had pins that were very gummy in the knee joint and in the elbow joint. And so contrasting pinless versus pinned, I'm definitely all in on the pinless joints because it seems sturdier. I bet it's going to last longer. It's probably probably won't warp here. At least I'm hoping. So this is pretty standard stuff. You know, you get the shoulder and the bicep and the double jointed elbows and everything. The helmet I've always liked. Like I said, I like the movie Ant-Man. I like the first one especially. The second and third one were kind of a mixed bag. I like Paul Rudd. Say hi, Paul. I love Evangeline Lilly. She is my celebrity crush. They had zero chemistry. That's the only thing that I really hated about that film, or those films, is that they really just didn't seem to work well together. But as far as this figure is concerned, pretty good. I mean, it's a little gummy here and there. I do not like, I don't know if hopefully you can see it, this marbleization here. Looks like Thor probably cracked him in the helmet. He just got a little mouthy and Thor had enough of him and just decided. So it's right there in the middle, and that just bugs the heck out of me. I just don't like it. I have an Ultron figure I have both the painted silver version and then just the silver plastic version, and I will probably spray paint that one or do something to it to cover up the marbleization. I just can't stand it. So it just makes it look cheap. I mean, you can maybe say it's battle damaged or something like that. I mean, the helmet's cool. Don't get me wrong. I like the suit, but let's see. It's got, it's got the bull joint. And let's get that on there. So, doesn't exactly scale well. Like his head is. It doesn't look. It doesn't look like if this was a helmet. It actually, his head looks too big. So I'm probably going to keep the helmet on, and this guy will probably go on, although it's still Paul Rudd. It's a pretty good sculpt, don't get me wrong. He'll probably go on one of my Action Force Desert Commandos or something like that. I have actually tried it, and it looks okay. It fits all right. It's not, I might have to add a little maybe sticky tack in there, but for the most part, it's a pretty good head sculpt. One thing that stands out to me as a big problem is these tiny little fists. Oh my gosh. It's like, it just, the scaling of these things, it's just, it just doesn't look right. And he came with, the finger pointing hand. I don't know why he has that. I would have wanted something like he's holding like he's clicking the device. He's clicking the button that triggers his size change. That would have been much better in my opinion. I love the meme. It's like Ant-Man approves, right? Maximum Warp does not approve of these tiny little fists. It's just so good. It just doesn't work. So ankle rocker, pretty good there. Joints are good. Joints are good. Like I said, other than the torso and no boot cut, it turns fairly well, but it doesn't. Yeah, there's no turning right there, so limited there. But I might try. I've seen a number of videos of people that grind out extra material to get better articulation, more range of motion. I will probably try that with this figure. Because what the heck, I didn't spend a whole lot of money on it, and it'd be something that I could practice on. So let me take these fists out. I'm not going to swap these out because again, I don't know why he's got this little gesturing hand. I don't get it. Maybe I need to rewatch the movies. But these are fists from the Spider Shot figure. And shout out to my nephew. He got me that for my last birthday. And yes, I agree with everybody that the hips are terrible. But on a whole, it's a good design. I feel like these fists scale a little bit better. Maybe they're a little too big, but I'd rather they be a little too big. Like he's ready to, he's ready to throw down. He's going to take on Kang or Thanos or whoever. But I think they scale a bit better, and it fits right in, so that's cool. Paint app was pretty good on this. So other than this marbleization right there that just drives me crazy, so I might try to paint over that. Do a little customization on that, maybe see what I can find, see what I can do with that. So that's with the Spider Shot fists. So we'll get to the Killmonger here in a bit, but Killmonger comes with these Black Panther claw hands. I don't know what the story is with that, but they fit well too. And honestly, I may display him with these. I know it's not accurate to the movie, but he had practically no, offensive weaponry at all. So, I don't know. It just seems like he needs something to defend himself with, to fight with, other than just throwing size-changing discs at people. So, I thought that was kind of cool. So they fit. They scale fairly well. Maybe he was testing them. He tried to scratch his forehead, and that's why we have the scratches on his helmet. I don't know. But yeah, I thought these were pretty cool. So if you know the story and you wouldn't mind, tell me what's the deal with Mr. Killmonger here. All right, so that is the MCU Quantumania Ant-Man. Now, I know Quantumania got a lot of hate. I watched it to make up my own mind. It wasn't great, but it wasn't the rage-inducing like I thought it would be. So for what it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So there you go. So that is MCU Quantumania Ant-Man. And then we'll move on to our Killmonger. Be right back. Alright guys, we are back. Mr. Killmonger. Mr. Eric, if I recall correctly. So, like I said, I had my eye on this one just because it seemed like the most military style figure that Marvel Legends had. I thought, this might go well, like just another figure to add. I thought, didn't want to pay $25 for it, and I was surprised to see it in Ollie's, and so I picked it up. It's, like I said before, these figures don't have boot cuts, which this one would lend itself, I mean, very easily to having one. But other than that, it's got standard stuff, so, shoulders go up about that far, and they go all the way around, and kind of have this little shoulder piece kind of comes out, so that you got to be careful of that. It kind of swings out a little bit more to get it all the way around. But yeah, I thought this one looked really cool. It was reminiscent to the color scheme, and the setup just kind of reminded me of some of the Action Force, what do they call them? Steel Brigade figures, and the blue with the tan, and I thought that he could fit right in with those guys. Like I said, kind of, if you're a figure collector, you know good and well what the articulation is like. Pins, but these are pretty sturdy. I was telling you earlier how I don't like a lot of pinned figures, it seems, have very gummy joints, but these don't seem too bad. But I really liked the head sculpt. I like the skin tone. The color scheme's pretty good. This is all molded, so this doesn't come off. However, this belt piece comes off, and which I think is cool. I was initially, I'm going to take this off and I'm going to add some Action Force stuff, because this is just molded. The gun is just molded in there. It doesn't come out, which annoys me. And what I really find funny is that he's got a knife, but it's so thin. It's just, it's just terrible. But it looks cool. The sculpt is pretty good. I like that they painted their grenades. They could have skimped on that. The magazines for whatever rifle that he didn't come with is kind of cool. So, yeah. I wish G.I. Joe Classified would start doing something like this, having clasps like the Action Force does. It's not always perfect, but it makes it easier getting it off. And but I'm sure they have reasons and everything. So yeah, I'm going to take that off and probably never use it on anything. He also has this little thigh holder, magazine pouch. It came on the left thigh, and I think it was in the downward position. It's going to make it hard to, unless these magazines lock in place, it makes more sense to pull upward to grab a magazine so you can reload your rifle that did not come with the figure. But that's okay. I got plenty of extra rifles and stuff, so I bought plenty of weapons packs from Action Force. So and what's interesting is that it looks completely different than what is on the figure. So anyway, not the final product, but this is what came with it. Probably I may keep this just for giggles and grins. And it comes with this spear. Please, somebody, if you watched What If, let me know what this represents. Is he a good guy? Is he still a bad guy? What's the story on having these Black Panther claws? And did he become Black Panther in the What If and become a good guy? Is he still a jerk? Actually, no, I shouldn't call him a jerk. I actually thought the Black Panther movie was good, and I like villains that have... He seemed like a villain that had a good reason to be mad, and I like those types of villains, which may be why I like Magneto the most, because it makes sense. Yeah, what he's been through, he's a Holocaust survivor. I think a villain that has a very good motivation for doing what they do is a good villain, in my opinion. So yeah. So double jointed, no boot cut, ankle rocker, pivot, whatever you call it. it goes that far. Doesn't go very far forward. Not a lot of range of motion, but it's solid. And the waist swivel, I know some people don't like them. They prefer the torso style. I'm fine with this, and a ratchet ab crunch isn't as big of a deal, except when when it's wobbly. So that's where I can see the wisdom in this system here. But unfortunately, it's not, for some figures, it's just not quite there yet. You have to go in and take it apart and modify it out, which is great. You can actually, I mean, that design makes it easier to be able to do that. You can't really do that with this ratchet system, but for the most part, this guy does a really, really good job. He's, I think he's on a disc hinge here, but I thought the facial sculpt is very good. Hair came out really well. So yeah, so he comes with all this stuff. I've posed him around a little bit with the spear, and putting I mean, he came with trigger finger hands, but no weapon. Nothing to wrap his trigger finger around. But this blaster from the Hatut Zerazi seems to work fairly well. And those are one of those figures that I thought they look cool, but they have some seriously gummy joints. And I think one of them, I have two of them, and one of them, and I've seen other people complain about it, in the box, you know, it's like they have a broken leg. It's like that. So their knee is just, you know, I had to boil it and straighten it out and freeze it, and it's still, you know, they look cool. Again, the ones that, and I got those at Ollie's too, so I thought, you know, get a little Royal Guard for my Black Panther figure, which that's a pretty cool figure, both the MCU and the Marvel Legends. So yeah, and I actually like this blaster too. It looks pretty cool. And so yeah, so that's Mr. Killmonger. Well, like I said, I got him he's more like a kind of a military fodder guy, and I'm gonna do away with that. I'm gonna give these claws to Mr. Ant-Man, and maybe someday I will show you I'll do a video on what it looks like after I finish customizing it. So anyway, anybody else pick this up? I know it's probably been out for a while and been tons of videos already on this guy, but like I said, picked him up at Ollie's, thought he was kind of cool. Was surprised to see him, and so yeah, having some trouble getting him to kind of pose, but alrighty. Well, there you go. Well, that's it for another video. Hope you guys liked it. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff that YouTubers beg all of their viewers to do. But yeah, if you have some thoughts, shoot me a comment. Happy to respond to you. And that should do it. Talk to you. See you on the next one. Take care. Bye.